Hello everyone, Brickosaurus27 here, back to you with a brand new Blaster vs. Blaster video. Today we are pitting another classic against a newer blaster, and this time we are pitting a classic against an in-series blaster. So yeah, it's going to get pretty stacked and pretty heated in this video, and of course today I am talking about the Nerf Elite Rayven versus the Nerf in-series Sprinter. These are both bullpup semi-auto flywheeler blasters, and they also both take AA batteries, which is kind of a duh. But like I said, this is going to be a pretty heated video because it's surprisingly close how good these blasters are. It's a very close fight. Which is better? Let's find out. Alrighty guys, so you know the drill, the usual setup that we have for these videos. We pit the blasters against each other. We talk about the newer blaster first, so we talk about its advantages, then we talk about the older blaster and its advantages as well, and then at the end of the day we draw a conclusion and talk about which one's better, and I leave you for some food for thought so you can come to your own conclusions as well. Starting with the Rayven. The Rayven's biggest advantage right off the front is customizability. There is just so much you can do with it. There's a tack rail on the top, there's a tack rail on the side, there's an in-strike barrel lug up front, there is sling point here, and of course mod potential as well. There's so much stuff you can do internally in customizability. It takes the huge edge on customizability because of, for one, it was a more established blaster, but also there's just so much you can do with it externally as well as internally. It takes a huge advantage when it comes to customizability. The second advantage it has is the build quality. This blaster is built extremely well. It's built like a tank. I mean, like, there is no flex in this thing. It is a solid shell that is really well built. Reinforced, even here they didn't have to do that, but it does reinforce the whole blaster. It's just a very well built and solid structure. The Sprinter is put together very well, but the individual plastic pieces itself externally are a little bit cheap. It's not too bad. It's not Alpha Strike level, but it is still pretty darn cheap, and you can definitely feel, there's no like flex in the shell, but you can definitely feel where the plastic is pretty cheap. So that is one little issue with it. It's not as durable. However, I have like tested this and thrown it off buildings and stuff like that, and there hasn't been any major damage. But it's still worth noting the Rayven is a lot better built than this blaster. And the final, most crucial advantage of the Rayven is the fact that it takes standard darts and standard mags. Yeah, the in-series mags are pretty darn cool, but there's no real way to get separate ones, and they don't sell third-party ones yet either, to my knowledge. So the only way to get the mags is to buy blasters, like the Pinpoint, this, and the upcoming Galactic Commander, which isn't really an efficient way to get mags, unless you find like a sale where you can get these for like $5 each or something and take the mag, which is something that's most likely not going to happen for you. Then yeah, it's going to be hard to get mags to actually use this effectively unless you convert it to half darts. With the Rayven, you could just throw the standard Nerf full-length mags in and you're good to go. Also, it takes full-length darts, which is a much more abundant ammo type currently than N1 darts. Also, a slightly minor advantage is the fact that I think the Rayven's mag wheel and mag release is just a little bit better than the Sprinters, but that's very subjective. Alrighty, now let's talk about the advantages of the Sprinter. The first major advantage of the Sprinter is performance and accuracy. This thing is a lot more accurate and performs a lot better than the Rayven for many reasons. Even with when the Rayven has, like, you know, standard waffle darts are super good, accurate darts, it's still a stock flywheeler from Nerf, so there's going to be a lot of variables and just variability in there. With my testing with this, the accuracy is almost dead on every single time. I haven't got any deviant shots. It's a very consistent, very accurate blaster, way more accurate than the Rayven, which is kind of funny because most other in-series blasters, the Springers in specific, are just not very accurate at all, but they seem to have the flywheels down. Like, the N1 darts seem to respond very well to flywheelers, which is good to know. But because of that, it gets a lot better accuracy and, again, better performance. The Rayven gets about 65 FPS, 60 to 65 FPS, and the Sprinter gets very close to 90 FPS, which is just a huge, huge upgrade over the Rayven. Another advantage of the Sprinter is the trigger. This trigger is a lot more responsive and snappy than the Ravens. The Ravens is still pretty good, but it does have a little bit of lag because it's that old style of Nerf bullpup. They don't have it really as well refined, so there's a little bit more of a squish to the trigger, and it makes it a little bit more annoying to operate and a little bit more tiring for your finger. The Sprinter trigger is a lot more responsive and snappy, and it works every single time. I've not had a single jam or malfunction with the Sprinter. I had a few jams using Rayvens in my time, but that's because I've used them longer than I've used the Sprinter. But the Sprinter just has an overall better system. It's more refined. It's well just put together. It's very nice. This is one of the best triggers Nerf has ever made. I will never stop glazing this trigger. It's awesome. And there's just a lot of other things like that. So quality of life upgrades. Another thing that I really like about the Sprinter is it's completely symmetrical. Now this is a more subjective take, but the Rayven's a little bit asymmetrical if you can't tell. The Sprinter, just literally perfect. Literally perfectly symmetrical. I really like that. That's good to me. A lot of people won't care about that, but I care about that. But I think the biggest advantage of the Sprinter is its price. This thing is so accessible. You can get it on Walmart shelves for $20 right now. You can get them anywhere. They are so easy to find and get a hold of. Anyone can get a Sprinter, and it's very easy to convert to half darts. You literally just need to change a couple of parts in the blaster, and it can fire half darts pretty darn well, like at pretty decent FPS. I think it's close to like 120 or something like that. So very good FPS once you convert to half darts with very minimal modification. And again, it's more accessible and easier to get a hold of. As most of you know, the Rayven is a very rare blaster, this one in specific. Also, the Stinger Rayven is very rare. The only one that's not super rare besides the Green Rayven, which don't get a Green Rayven unless you just want to use a classic blaster, because the Green Rayven has very low in-strike levels of performance. The only Rayven you can really get your hands on easily right now is the Nerf Elite Rayven Fire, which is the XD version of the Rayven. So yeah, the cheapest Rayven that has decent performance is this one, and it costs you about $40, which is very expensive. So that's a huge advantage to the Sprinter. Another little thing to note, and this is a little bit more subjective, I do think the stock of the Sprinter is a lot better than the Rayven stock. It's nice, flat, it's longer, it fits me better. The Rayven's is good, it's very good, but it's just a tad bit shorter than I want it to be, and it's a little bit less comfortable to shoulder. The Sprinter, in my opinion, from my personal taste, has a better stock. So with that being said, which blaster do I think is the winner? Guys, it has to be the Rayven. The Rayven is just an amazing blaster overall. The customizability, the build quality, and just all the stuff you could do with it makes it a better blaster in general. But let me tell you this. Let me say this. It's very close. It's extremely close. The Sprinter does almost every single thing right. And anyone who will try to say that this is a bad blaster is wrong. This blaster has so much you could do with it. It's easily the best in-series blaster, and I kind of wish we get more flywheelers from them. I really hope the Galactic Commander is just as good as this, but this blaster does a lot of things right. It's a very refined system. It's like Nerf has always had issues with getting their bullpups super refined, and the triggers have always been a little bit wonky. There's been some issues with it. This is snappy, responsive, pristine. It works so well, and I think it has to do with the rigidity of the N1 darts. They're just a lot more rigid and dense than standard darts, and that does really good with the flywheels. But regardless, this blaster, it's a very close tie. Like, the fact that it's so accessible, it's so close. I think it's reasonable to purchase this over a Rayven. That's not too crazy to say, especially if you're intending to convert this to half darts. It's not that hard. But despite how close it is, the Rayven is still better in my eyes. It's just a better blaster by all regards. It's going to last you a lot longer than the Sprinter because of the high quality that it's made from back in the day. It has a lot more options if you want to mod it and do stuff like that. This is going to get you much further than the Sprinter. So at the end of the day, I would have to say the Rayven is just better. But at the end of the day, just get both of them. I mean, come on, that's the obvious answer. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this blaster versus blaster video. It might be a while until I do another one of these. I don't have blasters I can just put up against each other. I definitely don't have material for another blaster versus blaster video. Oh no. Well, guys, I think you know what the next one's going to be. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. My junk drawer,
So many things I don't know what they're for, but I won't let it go. No, I will add more useless little things to my junk drawer.